Okay, quick disclaimer before I start. I want to, if you could tell me of a good software that can record and edit videos either at the same time or two softwares that could do one of either function, let me know because I would love to be able to make videos of good qualities in the future if I decide to make YouTube as a living or as a career basically. And also, if any of your viewers use the recording software from Steam and know of a way to get rid of the static around where my mouse would be, let me know because I would love to get rid of that static and just make it of as much of a good quality as possible, with the current setup I have. Anyways, on to the video. Kia ora! Hello and welcome to my video on the Kogake Prime. I just finished getting my hands on all the items from Prime Access. I'm going to be saving a bit of money later to buy the Prime accessories so that way I could just have everything in the Prime Access. I don't know why I just banned my Mirage around for a second there, but well, if you're in the fashion frame, that was just the way I colored my Mirage, so that's not the topic of this video. Today we're going over the Kogake Prime. I just wanted to let you know, while I have a noob-friendly setup, it's not exactly ideal for noobs to have this because I'm not saying it while it's bad for noobs to have this. They're unlikely to get this because this has a mastery rank lock of 10, and the only way noobs below that mastery rank are gonna get this weapon is if they buy Prime Access. I'm gonna show the noob-friendly build, but I'm not gonna go over it fairly. I'm gonna go over it fairly quickly and then move on to my second dream and veteran setups. So don't expect too much detail on the new friendly setup. This is my veteran setup, so I'm just gonna quickly go over to the new friendly one. I've got Brutal Tide here, but I'm not going to be showing off this build because I've tested it before and it does quite well against level 100 bombards, so this will take you through the sorties. So anyways, if you got note of the mods here, moving on to the second dream setup. So first off, we've got Prime Pressure Point. You can use the normal one if you have it. If you don't have Prime Pressure Points, then you can use this mod. It doesn't matter because there's only a 45% difference in terms of the increase of base damage. While it does add up, it's not as much necessary because what I'm trying to say is it's not really necessary because even the normal pressure point will do just as much of a good job. Then we've also got Berserker and Blood Rush, Shocking Touch and Favor Strike for corrosive damage, Drifting Contact. Now, if you want to get this mod, you need to farm nightmare missions that are between levels 16 and 25 when you're viewing them from the star chart. So if they're between levels 16 and 25, those are the nightmare missions you want to do in order to farm Drifting Contact. Then we've got Organ Shatter and True Steel for crit chance and crit damage. So for crit chance and crit damage, so True Steel is mainly there just to help build the crit chance up faster with Blood Rush, and Organ Shatter is just to overcome the Kogake Prime's lack of a crit multiplier because it's at 3.4 with Organ Shatter, and that's pretty low because at base this has a 1.8 times critical multiplier. As for stances, for the testing I'm using Grim Fury because Brutal Tide has way too many ragdoll effects, and even with this setup, it's easily got a good chunk of status chance, so it will proc corrosive damage, corrosive a lot. So you'll be stripping armor fairly quickly. However, because this doesn't have condition overload, its damage won't ramp up from the procs. It will only just strip armor. So you're mostly relying on the crit setup to do the job. So anyways, let's show this build off real quick. I had to close down the game earlier because it was if the game screen froze on me, and while everything was still going in the background, it was just not showing on the screen. So this is a level 150 Billy the Bombard. So wake, nudge, nudge, gay guy, please. Just if you're watching this, I officially adopted that. It's just I just love how Billy the Bombard name. As you can see, this setup does fairly well. Got ground finisher in, and it's stripping armor fairly well. I mean, the only likelihood if you're going to be doing this, or facing off against a level 150 bombard, is if you're pretty much going into endless missions. So, if you're doing hours and hours of survival or defense, you're only gonna bump into them then. But this could easily take you through the sorties. Anyways, on to my veteran setup. There we go. Again, for testing, I'm using Grim Fury's stance because less ragdoll effects from this stance than there is with Brutal Tide. So for mods, I've got Prime Pressure Point, Berserker, Condition Overload, Drifting Contact, Voltaic Strike, Virulent Scourge, Volcanic Edge, and Blood Rush. The reason my veteran builds weighted more towards status chance is because the multipliers from Condition Overload seem to outweigh the usage of Organ Shatter. Because the more procs the enemy has, the higher the damage will be thanks to Condition Overload. So, in comparison to using Organ Shatter, Condition Overload just outclasses it. That doesn't mean Organ Shatter is bad. It's good for crit weapons, but this is mostly weighted towards status chance, so I felt having 100% status chance was way better in the long run than it was to have more crit multiplier and less status. So let's go and get good old Billy the Bombite out again. Still can't get over that name. So let's go and get Billy, and unlike the crit setup from the second Dream build, this will do fairly well. As you can see, the damage is ramping up pretty quickly. Oh, don't you dare fall off the map. Ah, still got you before you fell. Screw you. As you can see, it took quite a few less hits than the crit setup, but that doesn't mean the crit setup is by any means bad. If you haven't got your hands on the dual stat mods, then you could easily use the crit setup, and it would take you through the sorties and somewhat into endless missions. It won't take you like hours and hours, like say, ooh, I don't know, Daniel the Demon and W Greats doing 8 hours straight on a defense. That was a bit nuts, but congrats on them. I know it's a bit late, but hey, what are you gonna do? So anyways, that was my Kogake Prime setups. I'll be going over the Akbolto Prime either today or tomorrow, depending on how quickly I can get the builds together for them. And I might go over Mirage Prime, but their builds are pretty much like, there's no special builds for any frames. They could be modded to anyone's personal preference, like all other weapons as well. But I'm like these, as I said in the other videos, this is mainly to give solid setups that other players could fall back to if their experiments go haywire. So, anyways, that's it for this video. Kaketeano, that's goodbye Amari, and I will see you in the next video.